we are here to tell you something important, and then we have a show that we are playing. We have a show, and it's a good one, and it's May 18th, which is a Saturday, which means that you might not even have to work your job, and if you do, you should quit your job over this. We are opening for Maylene and the Sons of Disaster.
Yeehaw.
And if you don't know something about that, then you're an idiot, first and foremost, and then second of all, I am here to tell you about that. It's a cool band, and now you know, and you're less of an idiot, so that's great.
I mean, Islander's there too.
Islander and Saltwound,
which I just learned today.
A cool band. So it's at the Worcester Palladium on once again more times Saturday, May 18th of the current year, 2024.
The year of our Lord.
It is indeed.
It is.
And Maylene is cool, and they've been gone a long time, and we're open for them, and you should show up, or I'll stab you in the face.
And we got our boys in Intake with us, and our boys in Bayside High, so that's pretty fucking cool. Our soon-to-be boys. I don't know if we've met them yet, but we're gonna. I don't know.
Is there a third band? Oh my god!
No. We are the third band. We are the third band.
Lovely.
Good.
Come to the show.
I pulled up all this stuff to be prepared, and then I'm not. So anyway, that's the show, and you should come.
We are the boys of rock runner.
You're not Zach.
Hey.
No, he's not.
You're not Zach.
Very much. He's not screaming his ass off. So that's how you know.
We traded him in for a different guy with a hat and a beard.
Weatherman Zach missed a weather event too. He's gonna be pissed. He's gonna be so disappointed.
Did I take someone's spot?
Yeah, bass player Zach.
He's
okay.
He doesn't count.
But he's doing some kind of family vacation
We already
thing. I
talked
don't know what
about
the hell
bass
he's doing,
players
foundation of the
off
band.
camera.
Yes. So this is episode whichever one this is of. I'll never get it right. It's 10. It's 10, and no one helped me, and I figured that out all by myself.
He's lying.
This is episode 10 of Rock Bottom with Mighty Fall.
Nailed it.
I'm Nick. This is Andrew. And this is Kenny.
Hi, I'm Kenny. I'm from the band Intake.
This is our first guest. So we're, once again, as always, once we figure something out, we totally fuck ourselves up and don't do that anymore, and then we do something different.
Yep.
So now we have. Well, I mean, it also helps that we know each other. So
Yes.
this
Constantly
is,
banging a left.
It isn't. It isn't completely random. Yeah. I live behind him. Actually, we realized.
Yeah, we found out that we're pretty much neighbors, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
We even we worked together many years ago as well for like one summer at Big Lots.
And it took you
Did you really?
reminding me at the Palladium, at the Worcester Palladium, that ever even happened.
Yeah.
And we realized that I had left, I think, that job right after you had joined. It was like a month I had worked with you, and then I was out that door, I believe, or something, right?
Yeah, we worked together for like one summer unloading trucks in a warehouse. And when you guys started kind of working,
Yeah.
I was paying attention. I was following you guys, and
Right.
I was watching footage and like, oh, this band's cool.
Sure.
And I'm like, I fucking know this guy.
Yeah.
I definitely know this
Yeah.
guy. Like
Yeah.
who, but from where?
Yeah, it was funny. I felt like I was meeting you for the first time, and then you're like, hey, Big Lots, some years ago. And I'm like, bro, what? And then it all came back to me very quickly.
We unloaded trucks together for one summer in
Miserably.
2011. I think we probably said about 5 words to each other because it was 6 in the morning.
I had an incredibly Christian, blonde-headed boss who was, out of her mind.
Yeah,
That tracks.
She was like kind of like a fundy, wasn't she?
She had the like wide-eyed, like crazy teeth smile, like kind of like more than half the time.
Oh fuck, that's giving me PTSD. I didn't even work there.
She liked me well enough, and
I was on
I
a good
don't
side,
really know why.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about that, it's like that should have been a disaster from the word go, because I'm me.
Right.
I was maybe just a little quieter about it at that point. I think probably
It was probably when she started reciting Bible verses at you. You probably just
Oh,
shut your
no.
mouth and nodded your head.
I never got that. Did
no.
you? Is that something that really happened?
Yeah, bro.
No fucking way.
Oh God.
Oh my God. That never happened to me.
Yeah, weird shit, right?
That's fucking crazy. Wow.
Well, that's fucked
I can
up.
see why you quit.
Yeah,
Like I said,
I was there 6 years though, so I mean, I guess I persisted for a certain amount of time.
I made it through. I did a Black Friday and called it after that. Like, you know what? I got 3 jobs. I'm all
Right.
set. I was in college.
Yeah, and then we
at
did
that
multiple Black Fridays at Guitar Center.
Oh yeah,
That
my
was
God,
good.
I can't imagine that, man.
time. Oh man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What a
Oh, so we were all retail boys at one point
Oh, yeah.
in time,
Yeah.
or still are, huh?
Couldn't drag me back
Yeah.
in there at gunpoint.
no. I somehow went into
Jesus.
banking, so I'm like I was like I'm never walking into a
Right.
retail again.
I still am for the most part, but it's a little bit easier going. I run a small paint store now, so
Okay.
I don't got to deal with like the massive public.
Yeah, you're not doing like
Just
huge
got,
corporate
a
shit.
niche group of middle-aged guys who paint houses.
That seems
so
good.
It's easier.
I'm not going to say where I work on the podcast. You don't know me. I don't exist.
I have no shame. Come buy my paint. Find me.
What are we?
I'm a stranger to the people that I work with. They don't even know me.
What do we got to do? Treat it like Disney, where it's like I don't speak for the brand of the company, and then just start talking a bunch of shit.
Yeah, right.
What happens in Vegas? Just like my coworkers, they see a name on a computer.
Right.
They've seen one picture of my cat.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's it.
They
That's
know
all they
nothing
need.
else about me other than that I'm a person who works there.
Right.
I'm on the payroll.
No more needed.
I'm Ron Swanson. I do not exist.
Throw my computer away.
You don't need to know my name.
My name has started traveling a little bit more through the credit union, so it's I I still don't give a fuck what I
Right.
say or where I say it, but
You're not on
Yeah.
the clock, so
yeah,
whatever.
well, yeah, I'm not on the clock, so if you don't like it, tough shit. Find me on the clock. But but
Meet me at the
You know what I
flagpole.
Find me on the clock and
Yeah.
we'll
That's it.
hash it out like
anybody
gentlemen.
that's ever come to see us live that I work with, I warn them. I'm like, please understand that you're going to see me in a state, and I'm not actually sorry for it. I just want you to know it's coming. Like my buddy Alan, that works that I work with now. He came to see us at the I Am Providence filming show, and he wasn't prepared for the shit that
I'm
he was
sure.
that was gonna ensue that night. Like he just
Right.
wasn't fucking ready for it.
Yep.
And he's like, he's a good kid, but he's very gentle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So he walked in, and obviously I'm already fucking half baked, and so he walked in. I'm hugging him all violent. And
Oh,
she's like,
yeah.
fuck yeah! Like, I'm so glad you're here. Like, fucking rocks. And he's like,
I've never seen this side of him before.
yeah. It's like, oh wow. He wasn't in work the next day, but the next
Oh shit, you killed him, dude.
the Monday he came in, they were like, so how was the show? And he's like, that was a weird time. He was like, that was a time to be alive.
The rock was too rocking?
Yeah, man. Well, he said, 'cause
My
at that
coworkers
point,
don't know I'm in a band, man. I love
because-
it.
I've had a bunch. I tell people all the time.
I
'cause,
don't
like,
tell 'em.
dude. Like one of
They
those
don't need
people
to
in
know.
senior management knows that I'm in a band. Like they came to like visit one of the branches one day, and we were sitting there like bullshitting about Pantera.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not shy about it, but I'm like, if you're gonna come see us, just understand this is not going
Yes.
to be
Yeah,
banker
yeah.
person me.
For sure.
This is gonna be a
Yeah.
very different side of this person. That
Well, I'm glad it ended up being that you guys ended up playing that show with us. So
Yes,
we just recently,
absolutely.
for those of you at home, a couple of weeks ago, we played a
blast.
hometown gig with a bunch of our buds, up to and including the Intake Boys, and it was a video shoot.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that ended up being such a special night, because I was we haven't really talked about this on the pod at all, but was I sweating bad about that. I was like, I love Providence.
It's nerve-wracking. I mean,
I love Providence. I came back here. I wrote a song
you came
about
back
it.
here
you
for
know?
us. You came back here for us. Don't act like
Yeah,
you didn't.
but Providence has let me down before. It's let us all down before.
for sure.
It's a fickle city full of weird people, and
Ain't that
it
the
could have
truth, man?
gone not great.
Mhm.
And I was saying to myself going in, I'm like, if this sucks, I'm done. Like,
If we had a dead
I
room,
will
that
be-
would have sucked.
I will
so
be
bad.
so mortified that I will quit music out of pure
I
shame.
feel like I read. Did you make a post that said something along those lines? I feel like
Probably.
I, read something like that.
I probably did, where it's like we're wrapping a very serious sentiment and humor. We're like, I'll either quit music or possibly start a gun if this shows up and we're just playing to the other bands and the sound guy. I
Yeah.
will kill myself. Like,
Right.
come to the show.
Yeah.
I get fucking post blocked on Instagram all the time for being like, if you don't come to the show, I'll stab you, or if you don't come to the show, I'll kill myself. It's
Oh,
one
here
or the
comes another
other.
shadow
all the
ban.
time.
Yeah. Hey.
And I'll
the
never
dark-
learn
the
my
darker
fucking
the
lesson
better,
about
man.
it
Yeah.
either.
But you know what? The plus side to that one is like, even if it did wind up like that, we had them on, we had Fanto, we had Culling, like even the Scarecrow Hill guys. So it's
It
like
felt
we
like
had
a hometown hero show.
Yeah,
kinda,
like
you
we
know?
still
It was
had
cool, yeah.
we still had a great lineup where it
Yeah.
did, like, even if it was just the guys, their girlfriends, and the sound guy, like
we would have had a great time.
We still would have
anyway.
had a great
Right, yeah,
time.
yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone still would have like thrown down because
Right.
not only just because it was a good night, but like they also everyone knew what we were doing too, so they wanted
Agreed.
to have like the extra fun time.
People
and, like,
understood the assignment. We
yeah,
told them to get
100%,
stupid,
yeah.
and they
Yeah.
and it would have been great anyway because like obviously like you guys are so much fun to watch too, and that's
Thank you.
that's
Oh,
an,
yeah.
that's an
Appreciate that.
important
yeah,
thing.
Dante's a fucking animal.
He really is, man. What
Yeah.
a machine of a boy. I don't.
That boy's got like
Yeah.
the Scott Ian stomp. I fucking love when he does that
Does,
shit. It's
yeah.
so funny.
Yep,
You
yep.
guys are chucking yourselves around.
Yeah.
You understand the presence aspect of it, where
Yes.
it's like people are there to watch.
right.
Yeah.
They're not there to see hear perfection.
Sure.
They're here to watch.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes, we do try to kind of lean into that sentiment a bit with how we perform and how we approach our performances for sure. And as do you guys. You guys like a party machine, dude.
Dude,
That's what
like-
it's all about.
That's
That's
all
what
him.
it's there for.
That's all Nick. I
I love it.
if you watch like old footage of me, and maybe we'll do the Crimson Classic bit.
Yep.
We'll bring some old shit up just for fun. But like, if you watch old footage of me, like I was not a person like I am now. Like
Yeah.
I didn't move at all. Like you
Right.
kind of get like a light little like headbang or like little shit like that. But
Right.
when he came around and he started like fucking throwing himself around and
A little
jumping
bit of
off of
movement
amps
from
and
one
shit.
guy
I
influences
was
the other.
I was like fuck. I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to try and keep up. And that's when I started blowing my back out, doing like the fucking back bends and all that shit. And, I think I've almost fallen off the stage at Alchemy every time we've played
Right.
there. Every single time because I stand where I know I shouldn't stand and I lose
Right.
my balance. And
Yeah.
if you watch any show footage from that venue, I can guarantee you I almost fell off the stage.
I'm flipping and flopping all over the place, dude. I played the Raven like a couple nights, like a week prior to that Alchemy show, I believe. The Raven in Worcester, and fell right over backwards on my back. Somehow turned into a backwards somersault. Made it look cool somehow. Made myself not look like a stupid asshole somehow.
How do you do that? Because I've yet to find that out. How to do that?
My I don't think I could find the picture easily, but my fiance has a photo of me where I don't know, it's like gravity defying. It's like mid somersault and like my legs are straight up, but like my ass is it's fucking weird looking. It's such a weird angle. Wonderful photo.
Yeah, pretty much every gig I'm ass over tea kettle in some sort of way, but not really ever sticking the landing.
No,
Right,
we
right.
so
I'm not very steady on my feet for how much bullshit I do.
my favorite time he's ever fallen is the one that we don't have any video footage of. So we did like a during COVID we did like a live stream from the Fet Ballroom,
Yeah.
and at one point he jumped on his amp and he fell off of his amp and just absolutely ate shit.
I like broke
And
my ass.
It was so funny. If you watch the footage, they didn't catch him falling, but they caught me laughing. So you can see when it happens, and you can see him like kind of get up.
Yeah.
But I saw him fall, and it was the funniest shit. And the fact that for some reason
There were
those
4 cameras on
and they
that.
sucked.
They didn't get it.
Those
Like,
camera guys sucked. They didn't get any of the good
gotta be
shit that we were doing at that stream.
It wasn't meant to be kept for a lifetime.
I will
you know?
tell
It's just-
I'll tell the story
Yeah.
till the day he fucking dies.
I gotta tell them, like, and I don't care. Like, listen, I don't give a fuck if I look stupid. Like, just
Yeah.
don't cut that stuff out. That's
Right,
hilarious.
yeah, we love
That's
that. Yeah.
what we want to. I want to see that.
Yeah, me too, man.
but that was my favorite one. We don't have any footage of it. And it breaks my heart because the boy that would talk about a viral like band guy video that would have been a real good one.
Right.
Oh, that
Look
taking
at this fucking
a
look at this
real
fucking
tumble.
Look at this fucking tough guy trying to stand up and jump off his amp, and there he goes busting his dick on the stage. Like that's like something you'd see on like Ridiculousness.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Rob Dyrdek's gonna get a good load out of you.
Yep.
You know.
So you guys got a new tune out.
Yeah. We just put a
Priceless.
new song out on the 26th. Yeah, April. Yeah, it just came out. Priceless. Yep.
The response been good. You stoked about how it's been going?
Yeah. It's been going good. It's been getting some good reception. It was the first song that we've recorded and released that has any clean vocals in it. So we were hoping to maybe pull in some new listeners with that, so people knew that we had a little bit more versatility. After our release of our first song, our debut song, Hell Sent, that being such like a burner of a song, like what was it? It's like 2.5 minutes long and just like straight up screaming the whole time.
It's like a Mudvayne tune, kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
Kinda reminds me
So
of that.
yeah, it just kind of drills you in the brain, and like that song, we wanted it to be our intro to the world, but we realized that maybe it wasn't our best choice because we realized that it seemed a little bit one-sided. So with the release of Priceless, we were pretty excited to see the response, and it's been good. So and more to come too. So.
Was the clean stuff like? Did that sort of come on its? Did that just happen, or was that a conscious decision? Where it's like I feel like when a lot of the things that we do,
Sure,
it's not necessarily like.
It's not scripted.
We don't go in with a lot of plans.
Yeah, like this is going to be a singing part. Like we need a singing part here.
Or
like,
I know that
thing,
at least for us, like what the plans get derailed a lot of the time. Like I went into our next batch of tunes saying like, oh yeah, we're going to do all this like slow stuff and sludgy shit and really lean into like the New Orleans stuff that I really like. And then just every song is like 300 fucking BPM now. And it's just like, that's like, that didn't happen.
Right.
So was that like something that you guys planned out or no?
Not necessarily. I feel like I've been able to say this about every project I've ever been involved in, but it's like it really is just like being at practice and like practicing our already established songs, jamming a little bit in between, and
Holy shit,
and hey, I know that song, and and just kind of like coming up with new ideas, and it wasn't necessarily like. It wasn't like, hey guys, we don't do a lot of singing parts. We could really use a singing part. Let's work towards that. It was kind of just like the boys started playing. They started riffing. I started riffing. Singing made more sense to me in the moment, so I went for it. And we just kind of roll with it as the songs come.
Natural's the best way.
And then I would say one of like the biggest things, and I could also say this for every other band I've ever been involved in, is like. It's when you start, the biggest changes come when you start to notice things sounding samey, I feel. Like, if you realize that you opened up a song like the same, like, we always open up right out the gate, heavy with just, like, vocals, or a held-out scream, or, like, we've done that 3 times in the past 3 songs we've written. How about we don't do that this time? Like, we'll try to, like, how about we do sing for a chorus instead of screaming for a chorus this time? Or, it depends. Really does just depend.
Yeah, so you're doing things pretty feral in that way, like just having it be kind of purely instinctual like that. Well, yeah,
absolutely.
That's I feel like
I think that's the best way.
I feel like what happens a lot with us is some of the things that we do if we do try to kind of like have a vibe going in where like I was thinking about like where I Am Providence is kind of like a sort of a radio single. It's kind of a rock and roll tune,
right?
But that's our most accessible song, probably by a good margin. Besides the fact that like we have one other tune with more singing on it,
sure.
But we fucked it up by having it be like explicit. It's having like an explicit track.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
because we don't fucking care. That's not like what it's. That's not what it's about. Like, it can't be like you got to write a radio friendly track. Like, well, that's never gonna happen.
Hey, we won't be on HJY, but we'll be on fucking Ozzy's Boneyard.
We'll just beef it completely.
Yeah.
Like anything that we're doing in our own favor as far as viability gets totally undone by just the fact that we can't do anything nice for ourselves.
No, we'll do something really
just
cool.
Just can't service yourself. Huh?
No, not at all. We'll do something really cool and then find some way to fuck it up. Yeah. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way is always different, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Hey, I mean, but maybe that's what makes you guys you though. Yeah. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I felt like that sounded weird to say in that moment, but no, maybe that's what gives you guys your authenticity.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Like just kind of doing shit on the fly and just
going with the instinct. I feel like is anything that we don't do like that, I feel like it gets thrown out usually. I don't know if that's the case for you guys.
Yeah, and then also like I felt you were working towards saying something like this, but like every time you try to like as a group, a unit, whatever you want to call it, a team, like try to work towards a certain sound, I feel like, or at least for us. Those are the songs that end up being the ones that we struggle on. We end up hitting a fucking roadblock with it, and we're just like, "What do we do with this?" It's the ones that we try to force that I feel like we don't finish, and it's the ones that we just 100%. Like the ones that we just sit there and jam on for like an hour straight, 3 different practices in a row. Like those are the ones that turn into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Do you guys throw out a lot of material?
I can't say it gets thrown out, but it definitely gets pushed to the wayside. We definitely have a lot of good riffs, good material, good ideas that just really got pushed to the side because they were songs that we were forcing too much, I feel. Songs that we started and we were excited about, and then like a new idea came about and it sounded better, or we thought it was a cooler idea, and then we ended up just rolling with that. So a lot of things do get pushed to the wayside. It's unfortunate.
I feel like there was a point in time where we were throwing more things out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now
it's a little more kind of like, I think we're dialed in right now to like what the band is supposed to sound like. I always call it like our like blend of 11 herbs and spices is so kind of like dialed in that like not a lot of stuff gets chucked anymore. There was definitely a point, especially when we like were guitar store guys together, was like the voice memos was a real
there's a lot of them,
real butt fuck, man. It was a lot of stuff, and it was just like there was too much, and it was just, you know, it was disorganized and strange, and like,
we usually called it riff salad.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it was
Fair
just you know, and that's usually how like the first real stuff with us came to be. Like Nick would bring me riff salad, and I would try and make something out of it. You know what I mean?
Wonderful.
But it was, you know, it was a lot of writing while we were working and stuff, and there were so many voice memos of like shit that was cool.
Right.
Like I remember there was this one like banjo-y lick that Nick wrote, and he was so happy and proud of it.
Yeah. And
then he showed it to me, and I'm like, bro, that's just I Caught Fire by The Used. And he's like, damn.
Brokenhearted.
I stand by that we probably could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. That was
minor tweaks. I'm gonna circle back on that one eventually, because I do think it's cool still.
No, it was
That's
very
hilarious.
cool. It was very cool, and I know that it was cool because The Used already did it. That was the that's
true,
how I knew it was cool.
But that's a rare one of hanging on to it though.
Right.
Like I feel like a lot of the time, if we'll be working on something and go, this is not quite. Well, if you can't massage it in a fucking half hour, chuck it.
Yeah.
You know, that's if it feels
that totally makes sense.
forced in any type of way. Do you now? We talked a little bit about this like off mic, but you know, it's interesting to kind of like, particularly like where singers slot in.
Yeah.
To
sure
how the Lego house gets built.
Right.
But I mean, you were also you're a guitar player as well, so. Yeah. Where do you kind of like land with your band? I'm always like interested to know where like how the gears turn for like other dudes, because
we love the process.
I know that we have a weird process,
right?
Or ours is so particular, and so like how it is, and it's kind of been always like this for like a while now, where the way that things get sort of assembled in the order that they happen is there's not a lot of shakeups anymore,
right?
So what do you? How's it work for you guys? Like,
what's a writing? What's like a beginning to end like rough
Sure.
process look like?
So we are fortunate in the fact too. This kind of touches on the last point we were talking about too, where our guitar player Derek, he's kind of the one that first contributes an idea. Typically, I mean, we have plenty of songs where our Dante, our bass player, has first brought the bass lick to the table. There's a few that he's kind of started the initial process and idea to. But for the most part, every song typically starts off with an idea Derek has come up with, and we build off of it. We usually just branch off and just jam and see where it goes. And the thing that's fortunate about Derek is all those ideas that get pushed to the wayside or maybe get thrown out, he seems to never really forget them. So you can kind of just be like, hey dude, remember that one that was like dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee? And he'll be like, oh yeah, I think I remember that one. And he'll have it right there in his back pocket. And
I don't know how the fuck you guys do that.
Yeah, that's
I've
impressive.
got
I don't
so many
shit.
holes in my brain.
Yeah.
If not having the voice
I do
memos
too. I
on
do
a
too.
phone
Yeah,
is the
my
best
shit
thing
is
that's ever
scattered.
happened to me as a guy who writes songs. Because you can just play things quick or hum it in your phone and have something instead of like
it's my saving grace
that thing
too,
of
man.
like, oh, when I get home I'll do it, and then do you do it? Fucking probably not.
I don't know how he's capable of such wizardry, man. Like he just like
He's like a normal person's memory. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's an actual musician's memory.
We're gonna kidnap him and steal his brain.
Right, yeah.
Because I need that in my life.
So yeah, he's a huge contribution to how our songs are conceived. But as far as my contribution goes, I read all the lyrics. And the way I usually factor myself in is same as I said, kind of for everybody else. We kind of just jam, improv, just kind of go with it. A lot of times, though, I do find myself taking a step back, and I meant this is what I mentioned earlier, and it's kind of in an attempt to get out of the fucking way, because there is a lot of times where I feel like maybe almost they're welcoming my help in the arrangement of the instrumentation of some of our songs and parts and whatnot. And I'll offer my opinion and my ideas, but sometimes I feel like my opinions and ideas are just not as valuable as if they just put their nose to the grindstone and hashed it out between themselves. Because I gotta be honest, switching from a guitarist and a vocalist to just a vocalist was in an effort for me to kind of take a step down from something that I wasn't incredibly confident in. I wasn't confident in my guitar playing. I did it and I loved it and it was a lot of fun. And I was a lot of fun. I don't know if you ever saw us live, but I was a lot of fun to watch when I was a guitar player too.
Yeah, I
Spinneroonies and all.
Yeah,
little fairy boy.
I was gonna say, did you kind of would you have sort of counted yourself as like a guitar player first, or no, or was it like I feel like guitar playing is a necessary evil for me, even though I am one. You know, it's a fight all the time. I feel like there's like. The guy from Mars Volta always kind of says like this playing guitar to me is like it is a battle with the instrument. I'm in a bare knuckle fight with my instrument from the minute I pick it up to when I put it down.
I can understand that sentiment, and I do kind of feel like a little bitch to admit that I think I lost that battle. I think I kind of like threw the towel in with guitar at one point, and that's not to say I won't like pick it back up again. I mean, I basically sleep with an acoustic guitar next to me, and I'll doodle on it. You know?
Maybe more of a necessary evil for you,
right? But the guys laugh at me because sometimes like in these moments when we're just jamming at practice, we'll switch roles, we'll switch instruments. They try to hand me a guitar, dude. I'm almost like afraid to touch the fucking thing. Like it's like it has a voodoo curse attached to it. I'm like, no, guys, I'm good. Like because I almost feel like I don't remember how to play it. It's like it freaks me out, dude. I'm like, shit, I haven't touched like an electric guitar in like. God, years. It terrifies me. And honestly, like I love being up there with a microphone and just like acting like a wild man.
That I feel like is important too, especially too with like the kind of music that we're playing too. You know, I think there's a lot to be said for having someone who's just a dedicated singer,
right?
As far as the presentation, as far as the presence, and having a focal point like that. Absolutely. I think it's like your job to be sort of the charisma and the face of the band, you know, ultimately. And I do think a lot of the time having a front man who's also playing guitar can sort of is a bit of a handicap.
I felt like it weighed me down at times.
Yeah.
For sure. Like metaphorically and literally. Like it felt like it weighed me down at times. So yeah, that band ended. That was Birds. The band ended, and I love those guys with all my heart still. We're still great friends, but yeah, we just all went our separate ways, and I didn't really play in another band with you know vocals such as intakes since then, and it's probably like 10 years, maybe close to 10 years. So I just like sat in my room and like sang like sad songs on an acoustic guitar for that long before I got the call from Mr. Derek Waters there and joined Intake. So
was that an immediate like, hell yeah, brother, I got to do this kind of thing? Were you like feeling the itch?
Yeah, I was also kind of starting like, I might get a chuckle out of this one, I'm not sure, because maybe you've all felt it at one time or another, but like I was kind of starting to feel like the premise of being in a band that performed live and everything and had fun while doing it, and maybe got a little bit somewhere while doing it too. Like I started to feel like the premise of that, the idea of it was dead and out of reach, and I was kind of like yeah, that's like that. Those days have come and gone. Like I haven't done any of that shit in like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So it's like it was starting to feel gone to me.
Feels like a pipe dream.
Yeah. And then like out of the blue, Derek, like I said, I merely just went to high school with him. We weren't really friendly. We didn't really have like we had some mutual friends, and that was about it. We didn't really know each other, but he knew I did some screams for a band at one point in time. So Intake was looking for vocalists, and he reached out to me, and the rest is history. I started screaming again. And it took some time to get used to it. It was weird. I bet. Almost like I had to relearn. It was strange playing our first show and stuff, being up on stage again. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? How did I get here again?
I feel like being a musician is definitely not like a riding a bike scenario.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's like a totally different band and totally different
genre.
Yeah, it's like real tough to do that.
Yeah, it was different.
do you write kind of much like, so if you're when you're kind of like putting things together on your own, because I know for us, like, our previous singer was like a fucking horrendous like lyricist, like not very good. So we're trying to be more collaborative and everything now that we have someone who's capable, thank God.
Right.
But I wrote all the lyrics pretty much for filmed, and a lot of it just came from just independently, like just jotting things down that seemed like they were cool, kind of independent of any songs or anything like that. Is that like for you, is it like a sketch pad all the time kind of thing, or do you need to have like music in front of you?
Mm-hmm. It's weird. It's been kind of differently for me over the years. I have always been a writer. I have always written songs. I have written things that have seemed more like poetry and like sonnets, and I've also written very long and like paragraph like songs, and I've kind of had all sorts of like different eras to my writing, and the approach when I was in my old band Birds, I feel like was a little bit more like keep a notepad on me at all times. I'm always writing, I'm always scribbling, I'm always doodling. Just my mind's always pouring out onto a page. Honestly, I kind of miss it. There's part of me that wants to go back to it, but I feel like life has gotten too busy. My hands are always busy doing other things. I feel like it would just be a little bit less tangible now. But so yeah. Nowadays with intake, it is a little bit more helpful for me to have something, hear it, and also have something that I can take home and work with. Lyrics to me used to always constantly be flowing, and it almost felt like I had like just like a backlog of lyrics, and I kind of do still. It's just they don't come as often as they used to. My mind would flow a little bit more freely back then. Now I have to actually kind of sit down with the piece, and I still kind of go into it with no idea of what I'm going to write about. I kind of usually just write my first line and then just keep writing line for line for line. A lot of times I don't even really know what I'm writing about until I'm done, and I look back and I read it back and I'm like, what the fuck is this about? And I read it like 2 or 3 times before I realize like what, it's almost like I have to like add my own meaning to my own song, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't really force anything with myself. It kind of just pours out. I wish it came out as steadily as it used to, and it definitely feels a little bit more forced these days. I think that's only just because the unfortunate circumstance of life being busy and just time always feeling so short. But yeah, I love writing, man, and
some of that's probably like internal quality control too. I guess if you think like, maybe you're writing less, but it's probably
trying to refine.
You're probably keeping a lot more of what you're turning out at that point. I think that's funny that you say that, as far as like it's like, oh whoa, this is what this is about. I feel like that happens. That's happened to me on like every tune, every one of our tunes, where it's like it's literally just like one-liners. It's like just total paragraph break, just line, just anything at any time that kind of pops out that seems like it's cool. Like, I'm just gonna write that down. That seems like that's like a song lyric I would get like a tattoo of, maybe. That's pretty good
for sure.
Oh, that's pretty good. And then once there's a few pretty goods, once a couple of them connect, and it'll just go and go and go for a little bit. Once there's like 2 or 3, it's like, okay, there's a song. That's the one. These 3 come together. That's it.
Yes, and you can kind of work it like a puzzle at a certain point too. Yeah,
and it'll kind of like hit you like, oh, that's a mosh part. That's a call out. That's like this thing. It'll feel a little bit kind of instinctual like that, as far as like, here's this chunk. I see where this can live in a song, even if there isn't a song yet.
It's a fun little thing you can do when writing a song too, is like when you write like a verse, like you're just like kind of throwing these lines down. Let's say you throw 4 lines down. Now when you finally reach that second verse, you can almost build off of that first verse. Like now look at it, stare at it, analyze it, use some wordplay in the second verse. Now, maybe reuse some of the words that you used from the first verse, but reuse them in a different with a different meaning attached. wordplay, rearranging things, like polarizing, like black and white. Like the first verse is about black, second verse is about white. I mean, that's just super generalization there.
Moon is
but
just
like,
the sun at night, as Dio
right,
says.
yeah. Like it's writing's fun. Writing itself, like you kind of just said yourself, is it's like creating the pieces and then putting it all together. Creating the pieces of the puzzle and then putting it all together, and it's all your creation, you know. So
yeah, it is. Do you have as much of a love-hate relationship with it as I do? Because I feel like it's so good some of the time, and then when there's that like those 4 lines that are missing,
I picked myself apart.
I'm gonna kill myself if I can't figure this out in the next 5 minutes. Like,
yeah. No, I've been there. Or like maybe you have like a melody of a lyric, and you have maybe like a placeholder lyric, but it doesn't make any sense. You want to find something new, and you just you can't fucking find it. You can't find different words than the ones you already wrote down. But the ones you wrote down make no fucking sense. So it's like, where are the ones that make sense, please? You know?
Yeah. I don't know how much of like the scatting part of it that you do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a good bit of that.
No one can know.
Yeah. Right.
Nobody can know.
I feel like something with us, you know, as musicians in general too, like especially when we have, you know, friends and peers that surround us constantly, where, you know, we see our friends releasing something and then we're like, oh fuck, why haven't we released anything? And we're like, all right, well now we gotta pick it up a little bit, and that's where it kind of like becomes a little bit forced. We're like we're not forcing out material, but we're forcing ourselves to sit down and work on that material. Right. Or, you know, it's like, oh fuck, like, you know, not that long ago, I think Traverse announced that they were releasing something, or that they did release something. And then you guys released a single, and I know Barbarian's working on stuff. So it's like all of these bands that we're like surrounded by that are like our friends are releasing shit. We're just sitting here like, oh, fuck. But at the same time, it's like we also just released the record less than a year ago. So it's like it's a weird like mental stigma that I think we put on ourselves when our friends are doing cool stuff.
I got a drive full of songs that are great. Like I started writing when we were recording Filmed. I put like another like 7 songs in. I was just like, these will be really cool when we get around to this. So it's hard to not be tough on yourself like that. I'm sure you're the same way. Like, you're probably your own worst critic to a great fault, right? Yeah. But that's the other thing too. It's like I feel like having so many peers in this community that are great guys and sick bands. Right. I feel like it does foster. I don't know how much everybody else thinks about like this, but I know that for me, it kind of instills a little bit of friendly competition, whether or not anyone knows that they're participating in said friendly competition. I know that like, you know, when I see you guys play, I'm like, nice, cool. That makes me want to work. Yeah, you know, because we've had conversations like that with like bands that band friends of ours that are maybe from like kind of a different scene. You know, talking about mixed bills and being intimidated by bands that go nuts or whatever. Yeah. It's like, no, that should make you want to work harder. Right. It's friendly competition. I look at my friends doing good, and I don't go,
how dare they?
Oh, I'm resentful.
You don't get like mad or like jealous about it. You're just like, all right, well, they're doing good, which means that we should be doing
that I
good.
need to bust ass too. Yeah, that's what that means. I don't. Is that kind of thing like something that you think about much? I know that it lives in my brain a lot
for sure,
especially for live shows.
Yeah. Actually, it kind of fits into everything we've been talking about. Like I guess like the music scene as a whole, and what it was back when I was with my old band versus what it is now. Maybe I just wasn't looking. Maybe we weren't looking in the right places back then when I was in Birds and Paintings. But I just felt like people were less friendly. I felt they were less welcoming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was an awful air in the music scene back then that was just like. People just seemed like they scoffed at you no matter where you went. You got that you see that meme that's like the good set bro thing, and it's that's literally what it always was. There was no friendly conversation in between sets. There was no buying each other's t-shirts. There was no.
When we were getting started, it really felt like a cool guys club.
Yeah, like cool guys hanging out in the green room. Type of shit, you know, like they wouldn't come out till it was their turn to play shit. And if they did come out, it was like to like kind of be like a pompous ass at the bar.
Yeah,
or going out to see your friends when you're not on the bill, which is
that too, which is just as rare.
So like I'm really happy to report that after being away from the music scene for like 8 years and coming back, it's like just such a fucking wonderful place compared to what it used to be.
A lot more camaraderie now.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's definitely comes down to people like yourself and just so many other guys from bands that are out there and stuff. Like just the people are just cooler now. And it's just obvious. It's way more welcoming. People are friendly. The shows are inviting. The venues are even better than they're even more inviting and welcoming than they used to be. I feel like just everything is all around better in this
all the venues that I played at are dead. So.
There's a bit of a quality over quantity thing that's happening now. Where I was really thinking about that the other day. Like it is. We were talking about kind of where the old jerky space was and all that thing where like the Club Hell jerkies, like there were venues that there was a point in time where you could go to Providence and there were venues stacked on top of each other and there would be multiple shows happening simultaneously and there was just that much going on that it facilitated having that many venues, and that's not the case anymore. But it even does feel like a lot of the venues, with the exception of now, if you're Providence Town and you went to Club Hell, you know that nothing really quite compares.
No, Club Hell.
We didn't know
awesome.
we didn't know what we had until it was gone, and then when the door was off of the bathroom and you were pissing into an open drainage pipe with your dink in full view of the fucking club for the last time, and you didn't know.
That weird like cage platform they had in the center of the floor that like there would always be just like that one random chick that was wearing next to nothing that would hop up on it and start dancing.
100%.
No matter what type of show it was.
You got stuck to the floor for the last time.
I would say I played there twice. Once with a metal band that I was in, Shadow of a Doubt, and another time with a punk band that I was in with my brother, Better Unknown. And both times that I played there, I got stuck to the floor because the fucking stage the night before they had some like fetish fucking some, like fetish night the night before, and like apparently they also didn't have a goddamn janitor.
Apparently not.
So at one point, like our old vocalist Eeyore, like I remember we played that venue and he was wearing trip pants.
Oh jeez.
And
awful combo for a floor.
They got 100%, and they got so stuck to the floor that he had to actually rip the pants to get them off the floor. And
damn.
And he had he might still have the pants just for the memory.
He should. I hope. I hope
yeah,
so.
there was like a huge half circle ripped off the leg cuff there because he didn't have a choice, so he had to rip it off.
Sounds like he was one step away from having to call like a fucking ambulance, dude.
Dude, listen. Again, that place was cool, but it was fucking gross. And
I also the best sound.
And I also hated the pole in the center of the stage too.
Yeah,
that made me want to.
I remember that at the living room, but not at. I can't remember the pole in Club Hell for some reason.
It was literally like right on the stage, but it was like slightly to the left. So like no matter where you put the drums, you were kind of fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But overall, it was a really cool place.
Weird room. Good sound though.
Yeah.
I never played a bad show there. I played there a lot, and it was never bad.
I don't think it was ever bad when I was there either.
I wish I could remember. I can't.
I remember there was one show that I didn't play, but I went to where it was the Ruins. I guess it would have been Jerkies or PVD at the time. I don't remember.
My god, the Ruins
and
man.
Club Hell. Like one promoter booked a show. It was Frankie that booked a show at all three venues. It was kind of like a Marcotte style festival thing, but he did it at all three venues.
Oh damn!
And he did like mixed bills so that like the Ruins would have more like punk stuff, Club Hell would have more metal stuff, and then there'd be like ska and like alt stuff at Jerkies. It was actually really, really fucking fun.
That does sound cool.
It was really, really cool. And like that's the kind of stuff that like isn't 100% necessary, but if it existed, I would definitely want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like,
I miss mixed bills. I miss when that stuff was a little more intermingly like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, the last thing that like I don't even think it's like I don't even think it's an attention deficit thing. I think it's just I think it's an age and cynicism thing. Is like I don't want to watch 5 bands that sound exactly the fucking same.
Yeah.
I don't either.
That is so insanely dull to me. I couldn't imagine a worse spend of like a Friday or Saturday night than to watch like 5 fucking bands that are like the same flavor of like metalcore, like
constantly no riff, just get like hit like a wall of bass.
That's why that Alchemy show is so wonderful.
That was great, and that was so much fun. And I think and I'm really excited for like everybody to see that video too, because it is. The vibe is so much so for everybody, for all of the bands and all of all the people that came, all the bands that played. I think that the video really like nails the vibe too. It's like we wanted to get just like what's the perfect night in Providence out, and I think it was. I think having such a cool variety of bands where it's not. it's not completely out of pocket for us all to be playing together, where it's just like, why would this be a bill?
Yeah.
But it is so much variety where everybody sounds so different.
But even but what was cool is like, us, you guys, and the Culling are all kind of like in the same vein.
For sure.
But like then you had Fanta, who is 100% on the other side of the coin, and then Scarecrow Hill that has like a little bit of what we do, but they're still definitely on like another side of a coin.
Right. Yeah.
So like you had like a good break in between each one where it was like you're not getting blasted with the same band 3 times in a row. It's like it was Scarecrow Hill, and it was you guys, or it might have been the other way around. I don't remember. And then
did we open the night up, or were we
you might have? I don't
can't
remember now.
Actually,
I got really drunk. I don't remember.
I thought you guys were second, but
I
thought they were second
too.
too.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think you were in a little bit.
Yeah,
but that stuff is great too because it's gonna
Infinity sequence.
Yeah,
opened up.
that's right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I knew I was
Yes,
forgetting
yes,
somebody
yes,
on that
yes.
bill. Sorry, Mike.
It's gonna get people, especially too. It's gonna get people from kind of different circles like into stuff. You're gonna hear some things that you might not have sought out on your own too, and I think that stuff is so important. I don't know, like I like a surprise. I want to go into something and come out going, that's my new favorite band.
Yeah.
That
You
is,
want to like it. You don't want to go into anything and want
I want to be surprised.
Yeah, you
I want
don't
a
wanna
pleasant
go in being like, oh, this is
surprise.
gonna
please,
suck.
please, like something.
Man, we've played with. I've played like mixed bills with like ska bands.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Same.
Which I mean, I
100%.
love ska. I'm a huge ska guy, but like
Those things are a gamble, to be fair. It's definitely like weird when that happens, and I think now especially it would be a harder sell than it used to be, where people would just go for the sake of going, and that was that. It would be a tougher sell now, but I really miss that. Like that stuff was so fun, and it was just a different kind of like community solidarity that is no matter how different the vibe is now in a good way.
Right.
I don't know that it would happen very much anymore.
No, I mean, I definitely miss when people almost had like the 80s mentality when they kind of just went to go. Like they didn't like.
They didn't read too much into what was actually
they just wanted to be there. They just wanted to have a good
It's
time.
Friday night and the club is open.
Right.
Yeah, and they wanted to, just kind of be a part of what was going on, and I think that we definitely still have that. But I think I guess it's like a double-edged sword. Where it's like it's a good thing and a bad thing. But like I think that we still have that, but it's mostly the other band guys that have that idea. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, well, we'll just go to a show just because fuck it, there's nothing else to do and some homies are playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like back in when we were younger, I think it was easier to have a full room compared to now. Aside from like band level or like whatever it is, like wherever you're at, like I feel it was just easier to have a more full room because people just wanted to go, or like
For sure.
The promoter just knew a lot of people that just wanted to go to his shows, and it didn't matter who was playing. You know what I mean? Like I definitely had my fair share of that. But now it's more of just like band guys want to like support their friends, which is fine because I mean band guys are fans too. But I definitely miss the. I wish I was born in the fucking 80s, man.
Right.
I wish I
Kind
was
of the
born in
more
the
like
80s.
the kind of like the more like window shopping aspect of it. People just walking by and hearing it from off the side of the street and stumbling in and just being like, "Oh, what's this? What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe another thing that maybe just technology has ruined over time, where it's just like everybody knows what's happening everywhere now, so it's just
life
like,
responsibilities. People are just it's just tougher to get people out of their houses in general.
Yeah, I mean,
and
we're
it's
all in
like,
our fucking 30s now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
shit's
tough.
It's not easy. You know what I mean? Some of us have kids,
Yeah, that
and some of us
too.
have like late night jobs and shit. You know what I mean? Like it's tough to do for sure, but it's when it can come together like it did that night. That's where it really rocks. You know
for
what I mean?
sure. Yeah,
Like,
unbelievable night. Yeah.
We've done like both sides of the spectrum. Like we had nights like that, but then we also had shit like Heavy Fest where it was like us playing with like a bunch of EDM people and All That Remains.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was like that was 100% fucking useless. We got absolutely nothing out of doing that shit.
Oh, those people looked like they were like we were wearing their sweaters, man. It was the worst. That was the worst. You want to talk about going over like a fart in church?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, those people hated us.
Oh my god, it was rough. And I remember like
weird day.
They had us upstairs at the Palladium. And then like all the DJs and shit were in the main room.
Yeah.
And they had like the gear in the same spot where they always do it, like in the balcony.
Right.
And I remember, first of all, hammered. It was the only way we could
He
get through
got
it.
the drunkest I've ever seen him.
I got so drunk I went to sleep in my car.
I thought I had seen him pretty fucked up until that point.
No, well, dude, they gave us booze on the house. It
He
was
went,
catered.
he went and took a
could you
nap.
not?
He
Shit was
vanished.
catered.
He vanished for like 3 hours. He
did.
was napping.
Oh yeah, I fell
A
asleep in my
booze
car.
nap, dude.
Where the fuck is Andrew? He's sleeping.
Well, dude,
oh.
like, it was so
Damn.
You've seen us. We always do our shot of tequila before we go on stage. Always. It's just a fucking.
Yeah.
It's a tradition now.
Ritual.
It's what we always do.
Yeah.
Me and him took like 4 before we walked on stage, and I also had a Jack and Coke on stage with me, like I always
Schwacked.
do.
Yeah.
So we were just fucked that
3
night.
sheets to the wind, yeah.
And I remember, yeah, and so we were playing with it was like Slaughtered, Nile, Thy Will Be Done. Like it was like our bill upstairs was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
We had a good bill.
That would have been a slamming bill if people had appreciated it.
Yeah, and like obviously All That Remains was there too, so that was fucking cool. But I remember sitting in the balcony with the guitar player from Slaughter, just talking so much shit about the DJs. Just, dude, nothing beat just sitting there, just having a drink with him. Never met the guy. I'd never really heard of the band before that.
Right.
Just getting absolutely sloshed, just talking shit. It was
Couple
a
of
good
dudes
time.
awesome.
uniting and being haters.
Yeah.
and then we were
Nothing wrong with that.
We were all just like the crowd for All That Remains was like embarrassing. They had like almost nobody there.
Half of the people there like sat down.
Yeah, they're like sitting
It
down
was-
on the floor.
It was bewildering.
It was bad. So, and I remember like all of us
failed
in the balcony.
experiment.
Yeah, I
100%.
guess so, huh?
All of us in the balcony. It was us. Like the Thy Will Be Done guys were with us, and the Nile guys like just sitting there, just like damn.
Wow.
This is
That
sad. We should go.
Sucks. Like we felt bad, and it's it's weird that we're sitting there feeling bad for a band that's played to like sold out festivals.
Right,
And shit.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Has like oversold us probably more than we ever will.
I know what you mean, though.
But,
It's that feeling of embarrassment for them almost.
Yeah,
a
like we
little
feel
bit.
bad
Yeah.
for them. It's like because at that point, I feel like when you're on a
It
bill,
hurts to see.
when you're on a bill, even if you don't know each other, you're family and like your brothers in a sense. Like so, it's like I felt like we were like watching our friends play to like a really shitty crowd. And there was like
Yeah.
nothing that we could do about it.
It's hurtful.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we felt bad for them, and you know, again, they put on a great show. There was nothing wrong with their show at all, but
Right.
boy, that was
Oof.
that was not the Night in Providence at
There's
all.
no accounting for taste, kids.
No.
Got a funny story real quick. Shout out Mike Karp for getting us on that show with Twisted, but I got a funny story regarding
I
it.
should have gone to that.
What a wonderful time.
Twisted guys are great.
Very, very intriguing
It
night.
looked like an interesting night.
Wild and crazy and fun night. Very, very appreciative of that time. But so we're fucking doing sound check, and we have this little Johnny Cash song that we use as an opener sometimes, and the sound guy starts playing it through the speakers. Now, meanwhile, Twisted is doing their meet and greet down on in the pit. So we're up behind the stage. They're down on the pit. Sound guy starts playing our intro, and all of a sudden Twisted stands up, and I don't know which one of them it was, just starts screaming, "Turn that the fuck off! Turn that the fuck off!" Like I can almost
I
hear
can
him.
almost guarantee you it was the shorter guy with the beard.
I could hear him
can almost
stomping
guarantee it,
almost,
yep.
like clapping his hands, like freaking the fuck out. So like the sound guy panicked, fucking turned it off, and I looked at the homies and I was like, well, guess we're not opening with that. So like he cuts it. He cuts the audio, and I just look at the guys, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we're not opening with that now. And you know, we all had a good laugh, but I gotta be honest, I was kind of like shitting my pants. I was like, holy shit, Twisted just fucking like yelled at us, I think.
Yeah,
But,
fuck,
like,
we just pissed off the
yeah,
only good like rap guys.
So like, but my guys are trying to convince me that like they're like, dude, they were mad at the sound guy. They have no idea that had any like ties to us intake the van. So I'm like, okay, you're right.
Fair.
So me and my girl had to leave. Billy, our drummer, stayed. And he texted me later on, and he was like, dude, you'll never fucking believe this shit. He's like, Twisted opened up with a Johnny Cash song.
No fucking
And I was
way.
like, what?
That's why they were mad.
Hell yeah, dude. So
I'm like, it all makes sense now.
I feel like if they were like, oh, just don't let Johnny Cash turn that off.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
You're right. Yeah.
So I went to Silver Screen Con for Ice Nine Kills the first year, and they had Twisted there.
Oh, sure.
First of all, they put on a great live show. They were
Oh, yeah.
awesome to watch. Like, they were super fun. And we wound up going to their panel, which was kind of like a fucking Twisted bullshit panel. Like, it was
Sure.
nothing
Yeah.
specific. And like the taller, like bigger guy was I don't know their names unfortunately, but like the taller, bigger guy was like completely cool, like very down to earth, real laid back. and then the shorter guy just started going off on like a parenting rant.
Oh, jeez.
It was the funniest shit. It was like he was fine, but it was like real like meth head shit. Like the way that he was
Meth
going
head
off,
level,
it was really fucking funny. So like I can understand I will bet my life that it was the shorter guy. That is the one that fucking, was it a deep voice?
Very pretty deep.
Yep,
yeah.
that was him.
Super loud, dude. Just like rang through the Palladium, man. I was like, it was like God was speaking to me from the heavens, man. I was
he's
like,
got
what
a
the fuck?
He's got a real boomy, like deep,
dude, it was wild.
aggressive voice. So yeah, that was definitely
Intimidating. Yeah, it
Very
kind of made
funny.
me shake in my boots a little bit. I'm like, holy shit, now I got to open this bitch up. Like,
That's you know what though? That's great.
Yeah.
I love a challenge, man.
Right.
That's it. I'm all for like, oh, everybody here might hate us.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the
That-
best. That's the
Yep.
best time.
Because when you get people from that,
Yep.
that's a hard one. That means something. You
Yeah.
know.
If you win people over there, you won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's you're playing against the current. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was fun. That was definitely one of the bigger audiences I've ever played for. And
It was a really good crowd. I saw the pictures.
And yeah, wonderful crowd. And you know, for just as many people as I saw that were staring at us with blank faces, kind of going like, "What is going on right now?" There was just as many people like with their hands up in the air, throwing devil horns and like nonstop rocking their heads. And so
That's all you can ask for.
You know, and to be fair, like Twisted is kind of known like, or I should say like juggalos. I feel like do kind of have kind of like an underlining like love of rock and roll. And,
Yeah, 100%.
and the heavier shit,
and especially
you know?
Twisted
So,
too, because
of
they're
course.
like real rock
Yeah,
mix.
They've gone
too.
out and done
Right,
work
of
tour and
course.
shit.
Yeah.
too. So there's like
That's the first time I ever saw them. Was awesome.
It wasn't
Yeah.
completely random, but it did feel a little intimidating going into
can
it for sure.
imagine,
you get stage fright.
Every single time, man. But it's like
Really?
it's like the second I open my mouth once I'm up there is I'm no longer myself.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%
It's
same.
like it's like different.
You're
It's-
in your office.
I only look
That's
at
a
the
good-
lights. I'm
that's a
only
guy in his
staring at the
office.
lights, and yeah, that's all.
The second, I'm definitely the same way. Like when we're like setting our shit up, and like especially if we're headlining.
You still got nerves?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I've not gotten nerves since
100%.
2006, brother.
I shake like
Well,
crazy every time.
If we headline, I get it a lot worse. If
Yeah.
we're just like in the middle of the bill or whatever, it's not that big a deal. It really depends on the stakes of the show, I guess you could say, like how bad
Sure.
it gets me. But once I hear like that record skip of coming attractions, it usually like shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just straight up black out through the whole set, like I did at Lupos.
Oh, I do that anyway.
Yeah.
He'll ask me all the time, like, what do you? And it's not from nerves or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's just like I'm in like fight mode the whole time, pretty much. So like, I don't get nerves, just don't.
Yeah.
But like when it's time, it's rock and roll time. I get up and then blink and it's
It's over.
you ever get a concussion and you lose 30 seconds or whatever.
Right.
It's like that.
Right.
And they're just like, oh, I'm at the other end of this. I'm just way more tired. Like, oh, you remember that thing that happened? That was crazy. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't fucking
wait,
see
what?
any of that, dude.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know.
when we played Lupos the first time, I literally I walked on stage after setting up the gear, and I was like, "Oh fuck, Avenged played on this stage."
Yeah.
Blacked out. That was it. That was it. I don't know
last
what the
thought,
fuck happened
yeah.
after that. I can't recall anything but what the pictures
Right.
show me. Like
Yep.
that was it. I was like, "Oh fuck, all right, here we go."
Yeah, that was another wild one. Fucking Lupos, dude. My God.
That was fun.
That was a
That was a
great
good one,
show.
too.
That was
So
a good one.
good, so good. That was the first concert I ever went to was Lupos. It was they've actually already come up once tonight. It was The Used. I crowd surfed to the song Bulimic.
Hell
That was
yeah.
my first show I ever
Nice.
went to, yeah.
Nice.
I was like 13, I think. 13, 14, something like that.
Good show.
Yeah.
Good show. Fuck hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, we got one coming up too. We're not even just reminiscing, but we've got next week too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fucking Maylene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big show coming up.
I'm very excited about
Dude,
that.
I'm
I am also. I feel like
super
people are
excited.
not as excited about it as they should be.
They don't.
I-
Maybe they don't know.
I feel the same. I feel like I got to alert people to the fact that Maylene was like a huge fucking band. And
Yeah, they were one of those
I'm
bands
happy
for
to
me
see
too.
that they're like back at it. Like people knew them. I remember being in high school and they were like a name it was constantly being thrown around.
Yeah,
So
they're like a
I'm-
very
I'm,
almost like a
honored
household
to-
name for the genre at that point. Yeah.
I'm first of all excited to see that they're back at it. And then more so I'm excited to be fucking able to play with them. Fucking very
And
cool.
honestly, like I'm again, I don't really know the band very well, but having Islander on there is really good too because they're definitely like on an uptick right now.
I
They
am
just released a new track too, so like they're definitely kind of like going up a bit. So like, I think that'll be a good crowd for us to play in front of. But having them there, I think, is a really good time too.
I'm extra excited about Islander. I had never heard of them, self-admittedly, before this opportunity here. And if we were talking what bands we are currently listening to nonstop, they would be mine.
That's the question we normally ask.
I can't. Yeah, I can't stop listening to them right now. I think they're wonderful. So I'm really excited to see them and
awesome.
play with them as well. So very cool. Yeah.
All right, we ready to blow up his spot, man?
Yeah.
All right.
This one's, I think, just a nice little slideshow, I believe.
Yeah, I think
we're bringing back Cringer fucking Classic because we've only done it once, and a lot of people liked it. But now when we have guests, we're gonna make them look like shit too because we made ourselves look like shit.
So we're gonna bring it home on this one here. Yeah,
you appreciate our bands a lot more when you see our shitty clips.
So I remember this band, which I had forgotten that you were in this. When I couldn't remember, I was like, hey, is like what? Just send me whatever you got. Yeah, and when you sent me this, I had like such a light bulb because we've played a bunch of shows together. We've like our old bands played many gigs together. Like, holy
what year?
Fucking
what year
shit,
are we going back
you were
to?
in Birds and Paintings Can't Fly. I cannot believe this shit right now.
I think we stopped when I was like 20, so that would be 2010. 20. Am I right? Am I getting that fucked up?
No, because we definitely played together after that.
20.
Maybe 11.
I think we ended in 2012 or 2013 maybe. I think that sounds accurate.
So yeah, I think we might have like just missed each other because Shadow released an EP in 2011, and then I think by 12 I wasn't with them anymore. Sure. Like the end of 2012. So
I was in like
just missed each other.
3 bands at that point. So I had a really busy 2011, and we definitely played some stuff together. I was in World 9. I was in a band called Operative. I was in a band called TRB. I was in
my God.
Holy fuck, I was in a lot of bands. There was more. There's other stuff I'm forgetting for sure. I was in on average about 3 bands at a time, and I was playing a lot of bass at that point. So I had a particularly busy 2011, and I remember we did some stuff together at that point before we really like knew each other.
That's awesome.
I've been in like 15 fucking
what
bands.
The fuck?
Man.
Oh no, 6 bands. I forgot to let us to
crazy.
Jenny now. But like I've been in 6 bands total since like 2008. What the fuck?
Yeah, I've been in way too many.
I think somebody has commitment issues. That's what I think. I think somebody's fucked up. I think somebody needs to rein it in a little bit. I think we finally got them.
So I did want to. So basically, what we've been doing here is this Cringer Classic, which is we pull up something from one of our baby bands. Yeah, ideally a baby band if we can make it happen, which I think this qualifies. We're borderlining on vintage at this point.
More than 10 years ago. So yeah, I would say
we're going 10 years back. This is a vintage clip at this point. You sang and played guitar in Birds, right?
Yes, I did, yeah. Birds and Paintings Can't Fly. I played in this band. We were a 4-piece band. Actually, we became a 5-piece right towards the end. We added a second guitarist. But yeah, it was some of my best friends when I was growing up. And actually there was 3 vocalists in the band. So my voice is peppered in. I did 70% of the vocals, I guess you could say.
Great. We're going. We're moving. So this is your old band here.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah.
Shout out Reverb Nation.
This was a song called "The Victims." It was off of our album called "Movement." That was our second full length. We had an album before it called "By Means of Rebirth." By Means of Rebirth. That one was kind of our entry level shit. The second album there is definitely a little bit more of definitely holds a special place in my heart.
We got to talk about this this trope of the time that is like is lost
catch your eye here?
To yes,
the couch in the middle of nowhere.
Holy shit!
Who was a fan of a Skylit Drive?
Every fucking
Probably
band.
This guy, man.
So
the
amount of bands that did this, it was the sweater, definitely like the like Cosby sweater, definitely is like a move.
Yeah.
But the couch in a field, if you are like under the age of 30, you probably don't know about this.
Dude, I bet you know that spot. That's Connecticut Point right there.
Oh yeah. 100%. I grew up right near there.
Sure.
That's so funny. Yeah. This is like such a particular thing. The romanticizing of like the sort of like scene era of the mid to late the late 2000s. that some of these kids, man, you fucking kids were not here for this. You don't know how much we all wish there was no record of a lot of that.
Man, we have passed bullies for a fucking reason.
Studded belt.
I know what I did.
The studded belt age, man. You kids weren't there for that shit.
Man, I wore pants that were 3 sizes too fucking small.
I'm
back
not.
then.
I'm not nostalgic for that. I'm not going to that. I'm not going to some corporate fucking emo night. I lived that shit, man.
Yeah, exactly,
We were the emo night,
yeah,
man.
We were that, dude.
We were there, man.
All right, play this shit. I want to
You
hear
kids
it.
were.
Hey, actually,
This is
I
new.
got something to show you.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
My shirt.
There it is. Fucking
There
emo's
it
not dead.
is.
There it is. Yeah. Shout out to the Blink-182 tattoo too. I saw that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I got an emo's not dead shirt on here.
Because it's fucking not, man. I'm gonna listen to
my
emo shit
God.
before I listen to new shit 9 times out of 10.
The cardboard sign.
Oh yeah, I
fucking
don't
love
even
that.
know what inspired that, dude. I know we got that couch at like
A Warped
Savers.
Tour move.
We spent like
You bought that
fu-
couch?
Yeah,
You
we
bought
bought
that
it and
fucking couch?
we lugged it there, man. Yeah, we strapped it to the friend
What
of our
the
Mark's,
fuck?
the drummer there, Mark. I'm pretty sure we like strapped it to the roof of his car or some shit. Or maybe we had the van at that point. I can't remember. Look at this cool cat coming out.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
She's a
cool
real
cat.
She's a real cool cat. She'll probably make the rounds and say hey.
Yeah.
She's chill.
She's coming over to you.
Oh yeah. There she is.
But yeah, this is.
Oh my
Birds,
God! I
yeah.
can't believe you bought that couch and carried
Yeah,
it there.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
Play
You
the
didn't,
song.
you didn't just find a couch. You
Yeah.
brought it there.
Yo, it was a big to do, man. Yeah, we did our own little photo
Oh,
shoot
yeah.
on the
There's the
beach.
Skylar
Yeah, I
Drive
mean,
shot.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we did a whole See here.
Oh,
we
you
are.
moved it over
Yeah,
too.
we
You
took
actually
multiple
carried that
shots.
couch.
Yeah, we had the whole dang thing going.
Yeah. It was like that type of hoodie with the haircut thing.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
like to write love on her arms core.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm at
That was
Chris Paquette's
Yep.
studio there.
that was the one I fucking over
would-
by the Fet.
I
Yeah.
could pick that amp
Yes,
head out of
yes.
a fucking police
Yes.
lineup.
No,
that's
it was
for
the
sure.
it was the poster that did it for me. It was the poster,
Oh, yeah.
the lady's
the
asses
butts.
poster, and
Yeah,
then the
butts,
Pink Floyd
bums.
one to the right of it. Yep,
Yep.
that's how I knew right away.
Incredible.
That is incredible. It's so funny, man, too, because like Intake recently posted a video or a photo of us at the studio and that iconic table with the leopard.
Oh, the
table
fucking leopard
behind
table,
it.
yep.
Yeah.
And someone called us
The
out on it.
cocaine
Oh, I know
table.
that table.
Yup.
Yeah, those shots were taken at an abandoned mill in Coventry. That maybe you, I don't know if you've ever frequented that. But,
I know the area.
AS220 right there.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
That venue seems to be coming back a little bit. That was a venue in Pennsylvania called the Fallout Shelter. I actually remember that. We've done several tours, self-made tours up and down the East Coast, me and my old band there.
Shout out to the Schecter Tempest on there.
Yeah, right, dude. I love Schecter. If I wasn't playing that, I was playing my telly, but
Yeah.
I did like Schecter for a good while. Yeah.
Vintage contortionist T-shirt.
Yeah, right. Yep.
It's interesting. You guys had a keyboard player too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you had a keyboard player in this way, though, because I feel like at this time there were lots of like bands adjacent to this sort of sound that had keyboard
Sure.
players, but it was that really like
Like the Attack
Crazy,
type
like,
of shit.
the fucking beep boops.
Yeah.
Whereas
Like
this was
Attack
like
like even like Motionless back then too. would have
you
had
guys
the-
were coming
yeah.
from the real like the post-hardcore kind of end of it, where it was like that. This is an atmospheric tool, probably more so.
Mm-hmm. We often refer to ourselves as beautiful sludge. Was a word we would use to describe our music.
Ah.
Yeah. But yeah, he had I did some vocals. The bass player did some vocals. The keyboard player did some vocals as well. He mostly did cleans. The keyboard player. But yeah, we all kind of just. There you go. Old school Kenny there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just like straight into a halftime bit too. That's like a real like of the time like Norma Jean-ish move.
Sure. What old practice spot. What a sweet place there. Lovely spot we had there. Before I had a beard, weird.
Was of the like the plunging V-neck.
Right.
era
Oh
of,
yeah, those
of,
two. You know it.
And these fucking kids, man, they don't know.
You're
They don't
you're
know.
attacking me right now.
They don't know
I
the-
think you need to stop.
They don't know the bullets they dodged, man.
Hey, maybe
Damn.
next time you guys have me on, we'll get together actual photos of ourselves from way back in the day. How about that? And then we can really
yeah.
fucking embarrass ourselves.
Is that you singing?
No, that is not actually. That would be our keyboard player. His name's Matt. Matt Davis. Nice guy. There he is there.
Trying to think of who this reminds me of.
He's reminding me of so many people all the time, and I can't put my finger on it right now.
This type of part, I feel like this is such a particular vibe.
This has like real like first album Escape the Fate type of vibe musically.
That.
Like, very much like Ronnie era Escape the Fate.
Right. I can see that. Ellie hanging up behind me.
Yeah. Or kind of an under oath thing, I guess.
Yeah, kind of under
Yeah,
oath.
we were
a bit of that.
Me and the drummer there, Mark, were big. Or drummer and keyboard player Matt we were very big on Under Oath. Very big on Under Oath. Specifically, Define the Great Line. I think the three of us would all confidently say that it's one of our favorite albums of all time, for sure. So yeah, a lot of influence. A lot of influence on them.
Or what fucking not? Oh my God, who am I thinking of? Not Horse the Band. This is gonna drive me insane. Don't mind me. I'm looking up.
Jamming out to my old tunes, man. It's cool.
Was this so this was this a Paquette mix?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I figured.
Hey, we're also some old Chris Paquette work here too. Fucking fantastic as always, and he's aged like a fine wine. That man.
The only thing that I have that wasn't done by him was our first record. Other than that, every other project I've been on has been him.
Awesome. But yeah, that's one of my old bands. Birds.
It was the house party. It's the music video with the house party. One of the singers playing like a little teeny tiny keyboard. What fucking, you know what I'm talking about. What fucking band is that?
Enter Shikari?
Enter Shikari. Yes. Ah, you got it.
I can
knew
see it.
that you were going to know.
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
He's got the little,
Yeah.
it's very distinct. They go really crazy, and then the singer plays this tiny little keyboard.
Yeah,
like,
and they have that like 1, 2, 3, 4.
fucking
right?
Enter Shikari. Kind of that vibe of like the halftime singy bits.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh,
there it is.
I skipped that band completely. I was like,
I knew a couple hits of
I
theirs, but that was
passed
about
right
it.
over them. I was like, oh, who's that band? Oh, never mind. A Data Remembers over here.
Weren't they from like
You know what I mean?
London? Weren't they a European band as well?
No, I thought
I
they
don't
were
know.
like a. I don't remember.
Maybe they were.
I don't fucking. I just said I didn't
I'm doing
listen to them. I don't
terrible
fucking
job of fact checking because it's on my phone here.
know. Who fucking cares?
Who cares?
Fact check.
They were British.
They're British. British boys.
You
Yeah.
got it right.
I got it.
Enter Shikari, cool band.
Yeah. Very
I
cool.
appreciate them more now than I did then. I feel like then
Maybe
it
I'll
was,
revisit them soon.
if it wasn't like camo shorts, like fat guy death metal at that time.
Right.
It was a lot of stuff was a hard sell for me.
Yeah,
A lot of
right.
like haircut bands were like a tough sell for me. But
yeah. You needed a certain aesthetic for you to even like
Yes.
give it a shot.
but
Oh,
I've come to
yeah,
appreciate
I-
them a lot more now.
Fair.
But that was cool. That was you know what
Thanks,
that
man.
like,
Honestly,
aged.
considering that actually didn't age bad.
That aged
was-
pretty
yeah,
well, I gotta say.
could agree. Yeah, that sounded good. Thanks
Yeah,
for
no, that-
thanks for letting me play that here.
Yeah,
That's
no,
cool.
like I said, compared to some of the other stuff that we played of our own, like you said that the Shadow stuff you didn't think that aged that badly, but
Some of it yes, some of it no.
yeah, it definitely has a lot of the tropes of
Yeah.
the time. But
the heavier tunes that were less like going for straight like at the Gates core. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like Les Gothenburg was cooler.
Yeah.
I think, and aged a little more gracefully.
yeah, but I think the Paquette mixes help a lot in that time too, because he was like the best at the he, around here he still really is. But
yeah, he never.
he was the guy. So like if you didn't go to him for a mix.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't stand a fucking chance.
Right.
You know, it
Yeah.
didn't matter how good or bad the song was. If you didn't have him on it, you were fucked.
Right.
Fucked.
But yeah, I thought that was cool. And that was kind of like how I remembered it being.
I put that as
So-
classic. I wouldn't say cringe at all on that.
Yeah.
Maybe cringe on the couch, but
A little bit.
But
Yeah.
audio wise, I would
Yeah.
say classic.
We're
I would.
okay audio wise, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would not say cringe on that one.
Right. I
Compared to
appreciate
some
that.
of our own. So yeah, you brought us a pretty good one.
Cool.
You definitely owe us something more embarrassing.
I
Next
will.
Time. Yeah.
I will definitely get you something more embarrassing.
Well, I that probably gets us. We're probably got time here, but let's take her home here. Of course, it's a pleasure to be doing this. Thanks for being here. Congrats on the new tunes. Of course, it's always it's been great to follow you guys and do what we've been doing here.
Thank you.
Obviously, listen to Intake. New tune, Priceless. Tune before that, Hell Sent. I'm sure plenty more coming from there.
Absolutely.
We are playing together next week, Worcester Palladium, March 17th? 18th. March 18th at the Worcester Palladium.
So close.
May 18th at the Worcester Palladium.
Oh, he said fucking March.
May 18th at the
Holy shit,
goddamn Worcester Palladium.
Don't use this one.
We'll get it.
We're the Intake and us opening for Maylene and the Sons of Disaster.
It's going to be something.
It's going to be a lovely time.
Hell yeah.
May 18th, Worcester Palladium. Do it. By the time this comes out, it'll be a few days out. You still got some time to show up. It's going to be a lovely time. We hope to see you there.
Buy tickets from somebody.
We're going to get
we got tickets.
We're going to get real goofy and act fools.
Wacky and wild.
So until next time, we'll see you in hell.